FYE hooked me up with this vinyl, be sure to stay tuned, I'm giving it away. What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of album number 7, The Canyon by The Used. It's a double album and it is clocking in at nearly an hour and 20 minutes. That is a long record for The Used. They've been known for post-hardcore, emo, alternative rock in the past, and if you're wondering, yes, I am giving away a copy of The Canyon on blue vinyl. You saw it at the start of the video. It really does look amazing, and I have 2 copies of this thanks to FYE, and if this video gets to 5,000 views within a week, I will give away 2 copies instead of just 1. But as of right now, all you gotta do to win a copy is just tell me down in the comment section down below that you want it, and be following me on Twitter at ARTV Reviews. I'm going to pick from over there on my Twitter followers. Just tweet me if you want this. It's at ARTV Reviews. And if you want to tweet me why you want it, that's not going to increase your chances, but still, I mean, it'd be interesting to see why you love the album, why you're into it, what you're thinking about it, and if you would like the vinyl. Oh, and if you want to pick up this album for yourself on vinyl, which it does look super cool, and if you like this record and you're into collecting vinyl, you don't want to miss out on this color. It's the top link in the description down below if you want to pick it up over on FYE. It helps you out because you get a cool new record, and obviously it helps out your boy ARTV as well. Despite this being a very, very long album, this isn't going to be a very, very long review because I don't want to just sit here and unpack every single thing because this is a lengthy record. There's a lot packed in here, but at the same time, there's not. And sadly, there is filler. There are moments that I find myself thinking I've heard before, and it's just an album that just is undecided in the fact that it wants to keep going. It has ideas, and it has a great arc to its story, at least on paper. Whenever the concept is spoken to you, you're like, okay, this sounds good. Obviously, Burt McCracken lost his good friend, one of his best friends, Tregan. He killed himself just over a year ago at the time of The Canyon being released. And obviously, The Canyon is the quite literal place where he took his own life in Utah. So you see that. The first half of the album is supposed to be about the events surrounding that and everything that was going through Burt's mind, trying to, I guess, interpret that from his point of view, where his friend was at. Then in the middle of the record, we get just an absence of anything and a loss of faith and a loss for the passion for life. And then the closing part of this record is supposed to be about Burt and the band moving on and finding ways to channel anger into, I guess, new things and politics and music. And it's kind of confusing as it goes on, honestly. I mean, it gets a bit convoluted with its message, but there are some great songs on here. Don't get me wrong. It's all packed in here. It's just, there's so many layers that you have to peel back to actually get there. Now, some people will right off the bat love this album because it is a return to harder rock. And I think that the lead single, Over and Over Again, was kind of misrepresenting the album in a way, but not in a bad way. In fact, I love that song. It's so different and crafty for The Used. It's catchy as hell, and the whole do what you want, and the chorus, obviously, which is very repetitive, is always stuck in my head, and I love Burt's vocals here, especially as he really starts going with the be myself. That part just really gets me, and it's a hooky song that I've had stuck in my head for at least a month now. Can I be honest for a minute? I would have really liked to have seen more like Over and Over Again on the album, but we don't get a ton of that, and what I was saying is that I think a lot of fans of, I guess, more rough around the edges Used are going to be very pleased, because this album was recorded straight to tape. That's right. Nothing else is being done, no extra tricks, it's just the Used on tape. So anybody complaining about things sounding weird, that's because you are literally used to just everything being programmed or so glossified that you can't even tell what a real drum kit or a real bass guitar or a real vocal tone sounds like. Sorry if that sounds harsh, it's just that I feel passionately about the band's decision to put this on tape. I think it's a great decision, and I wish more bands would do that because it gives them the ability to get in a band, play together, have a connectivity creativity and find their zen, find their happy place whenever creating music, and they're able to push out these ideas, sometimes push the envelope because they're doing things raw, live, in the room, straight to tape. They've got a new producer this time around. We've got Ross Robinson, who is known for some prog rock, some alternative, and a lot of people have gone to him in the past whenever they wanted a big sounding album. And I think here on The Canyon, they did something like that. They were able to take a lot of ideas, a lot of experimental stuff, and channel it into a harder rock album that definitely has some great, more aggressive moments like Rise Up Lights, which does fall into the trap of being repetitive, but at the same time it gets across some good musical ideas. There's some great moments like Funeral Post, where I just see everything going up in flames and we really start to feel some of the emotional impact that the album has to offer. And then amazing moments like the politically tinged Selfies and Aleppo. That's something that talks about everything that was going on overseas. Obviously there was a lot of stuff going on in Aleppo if you don't follow the news, everything with Syria and that sort of thing. And this song just breaks it all down. It kicks down the walls. It has a furious guitar riff that just really leads and sears throughout this song, and I love Bert's anger here. You can tell he's grown a lot as a vocalist over the years, and I really appreciate songs like this. I really enjoyed track number 3, Broken Windows. This is one that I found myself wanting to look into because a lot of this record, honestly, you're having to fight yourself to stay in the zone, and that's because I think we've been trained to obviously be a little bit ADD, zone out on things, and if the record isn't so captivating, just amazing you, then you're probably not going to be in focus all the times, and I myself am guilty here. But I started trying to read along with the lyrics, and that's when things became a bit more clear to me. I'm not saying it totally sold me on the album overall, but I really love moments like Broken Windows, because we get to take a look at his friend Tragan again, and here, obviously, we see into his life, and I feel like he's writing from his friend's point of view, saying that he hates that he got involved with Bert's ex that was pregnant with a child in 2004. Her name was Kate, and she died because of a drug overdose while she was pregnant. And if you don't think that affected Bert and the Used over the years and the music, holy shit, it did, because that's right when the Used were taking off, and obviously that poured into the music big time. Just so many emo lyrics from that time, and I understand it so much more throughout the years as I've grown to understand just the weight of those situations. As far as what else I like about this record, I do like the classic rock leaning tendencies of Pretty Picture. That one has a great guitar tone to it. I like Moon Dream for the fact that it kind of brings you this orchestral feel, and it's unlike anything that the Used have ever done before, and they kind of pull off a sad, earnest song pretty well, especially with the orchestration, and it really builds in the regard that there's an orchestra swelling around it, but it never really takes off in the instrumental department. So it's not a typical band song for the Used, but at the same time, with 17 songs, daring to do something different like this and put it on tape, that's cool by me. We've also got some other really cool moments like Moving the Mountain that is just, it's catchy, it's kind of aggressive, and then the Nexus as well, which I've really found myself getting into the more I listen to this record, and especially the closer, The Mouth of the Canyon, which obviously sews the entire story together. It's just the in-between. It's the in-between that kills this album. Some of the political moments don't hit as hard as they want to, like The Quiet War, and there's other songs that just, like I said, they feel like I've heard them before. And this album is so long, it just tends to bog itself down. They could have easily just wrapped this up a little bit sooner, but at the same time, I understand, and I don't want to condemn them for like wanting to get these ideas out there and daring to do something different. And I do like the majority of the record. It's just that I don't know how often I'll be coming back to it because of its length and because not every single song is entertaining, not to me at least. So for me personally, I'm going to give this a light 3.5 out of 5. Really admired the dedication. I love the instrumentals on this record. They did a great job of just shaping up this kind of moody atmosphere that also has a harder rock tendency. The bass grooves really cut on this album. You can definitely hear those drums, even though they do sound a bit off and maybe a bit too raw in places. It's not something that I'm going to complain about. So what did you guys think about the Used new album? And it's called The Canyon, obviously. If you want to win a copy on vinyl, remember, all you got to do, leave a comment down below saying you want it and be following me on Twitter. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video as well. Let's try to get this to 500 likes. And like I said, if this video gets to 5,000 views, I know this is a smaller band, but if it gets to 5,000 views in a week, I'll give away 2 copies of the album. If you'd like to pick up a copy of the album, album for yourself, it is for sale over on FYE. You can get that exclusive pretty blue color. It's the top link in the description down below. If you're able to support me on Patreon, it's the second link. Other than that, I got a couple of recent videos floating here, and I'll see you soon on ARTV.